Do your thing, dog.
All right, let's go.
Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, good people. Good afternoon, good people. Good afternoon. You are now in the no judgment zone with yours truly, Sean Taylor, discussing topics with no judgment, discussing topics with no judgments. Every place that we're streaming on YouTube, Gwen's Boys Mindset, business Facebook page, Tailor Made Training for You, FIMP for Mind Perfect Non Judgmental People, 50 and over, Twitch, Twitter, so on and so forth. Welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Hope everybody is healthy. Hope everybody's doing great. Hope everybody's doing good. Happy early Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Um, those mothers of substance. Those mothers of substance. Happy Mother's Day, and I do salute each and every mother. Being a
Yes.
mother is a unique thing, something a man could never ever do, even on his best day. That is something that we would never be able to conquer, to take away from the mothers. Being a mother is a phenomenal thing, but being a mother of substance is whole next level stuff. That means that
Totally
the woman
different.
is a woman of credibility. She's a woman of standard. She's a woman of substance. She's a woman of class, sophistication. She is a woman who does things the way they're supposed to be. She puts their kids first. It's all about the kids. There is no selfishness in her body whatsoever, not one iota. So to those mothers who is doing it right, those mothers who's not, it's not about the money, but it's about the memories. Those mothers who ain't moving to Zimbabwe to inconvenience that brother, those mothers that's doing it right, I
Yeah.
salute you. I salute you. In the words of Gwen, these are not my words. Like they say, it takes a real man to be a father. My mom used to always say it takes a real woman to be a mother. And not all women that carry a child and have a child with them are real mothers. That's what that was from her words, not mine. So, to all those real mothers who are doing it right, I salute you. Happy Mother's Day. Hey, y'all doing the thing, you're putting the time in, you're doing the thing, and men cannot do it without you. So,
Yeah.
anyway, we're moving on. The title of the subject, well, I got my boy, Brandon Lampley. Can't forget about my boy, Brandon Lampley, my co host for the day. We are talking about average. I have no desire to be average. When you are average or basic, you are pretty much, in other words, mediocre. You don't care. You're just doing just enough to get by. You faking moves. You ain't making moves. I mean, you're just doing the bare minimum. That's what you do. You have no inkling or urge or unction, or you have no desire to be more than just, I'm just gonna do just enough to get by. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to do anything more. I'm not going to do anything less, but I'm just going to do just enough to get by. I'm going to do just enough to get by in school. I'm going to do just enough to get by in sports. I'm just going to do just enough to get by in that marriage. I'm just going to do just enough to get by in my exercise regimen. I'm just going to do just enough just to get by, just to say that I did it. So when you are just average or basic, there is nothing impressive about that. Everything you do is just average. You walk average. You're like, man, that person just look how they just walk average. Just doing everything with an average mindset. You think average. The whole thing is, everything is just average. Your bar is so low, it can't get no lower, but that's all that's all you want to do. So B,
Yeah.
let's talk about this average thing, man. What's your thoughts or input on just being average?
Well, the you're talking about a group of people, which I think we talked about it previously.
Right.
They're called ham and eggers, knuckle draggers, NPCs, the non-playable characters.
Right.
Remember I told you about that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
those people who do just enough. They do the same thing. They wake up, he have his ham and eggs, have his coffee, go to 9 to 5, get off. Maybe go do something else, but go home and it's wash, rinse, repeat every single day. It's not no striving for what you want in life, because nobody's saying that you got to be a millionaire or you got to look like The Rock or look like Sean or anything like that. But
Right.
do you want more? Do you want better? And most people do. Most people do. And instead of doing something about it, instead of doing something about your average or to below average status, they complain. They sit and complain. They hate on those who had the gumption to pull themselves out of averageness, you know. Um, but even if you are average today, I mean, it starts with you changing. I was below average. I'm creeping closer towards average, and then I'm going to exceed it. I'm going to explode right by it. That's my goal. I'm not going to sit here and complain about circumstances, what I was given, or anything. Like, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. Heard he passed Thursday morning. Um,
Wait. What? What?
yeah, due to from what I've seen from a lot of credible sources, because it was a
What?
rumor.
The Kevin Samuels?
The Kevin Samuels cardiac arrest.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so hearing about that, and dude, knowing
What
his
was in there?
story, yeah, knowing Kevin's story. Hopefully, he can come back. Knowing Kevin's story, Kevin. Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, you still muted. You still muted. You got to take the mute off. But I was saying Kevin Samuel's story. If you know Kevin's story, Kevin has been through some struggles, 2 divorces. No, you still muted. Okay, he's coming up. But Kevin had been through 2 divorces, some financial issues, and he had been working his way back up.
Got me? You hear me
Yeah, I
now?
got you now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but now I was saying he was having some financial issues. I know he went through 2 divorces and he was kind of working his way up. And he hit a gold mine. He went viral and started his following started to grow. I mean, Kevin hit a status in life that he lived a life most people are not going to live, just in that short window of time he got popular. Because when he got popular, I mean, it took off like wildfire.
Right.
But I'm gonna do a video tribute to him, because one of the things I've seen, and it's not necessarily to talk about Kevin, but I'm going to talk about the reception I've seen around his death, dude. Especially the women and some of the men, especially on Twitter, and I mean it's a miserable place anyway. These are average people that I just spoke about, who have done nothing with their lives, will do nothing with their lives, and they hate when somebody give them the truth and hold up a mirror to them. You know, those are those same miserable people praying on his downfall, and they're glad he's gone and all of this. And I'm like, black men have to pay attention to the people who celebrate his death, because regardless of if you didn't like his message or not, you know what grown-ups do? They don't listen to him and they move on with their lives. They don't celebrate his death. And this whole, oh, he got famous from downgrading black women and all this. No, that man preached marriage, and he wanted women to get it together. He wanted men to get it together. His message was geared towards men getting their crap together for the women that they wanted, and letting women know, say, hey, this is where your standard are, this is where you are. You need to shoot not about right here. You don't need to shoot up here because you're gonna miss. That's what he was telling people, and they hated him for that. But it's just like Monique when she talked about the bondage. They hated her. They hated Iyanla Van Zant. They hate April Mason. They hate all these people who were trying to help them. So, but please take note, black men, of the people who go against Kevin Samuels, and they're basically tap dancing on his grave right now, because there's no need for it. It's disgusting.
Man, I'm at a loss. I didn't know the brother passed, man. So I'm like in shock. I don't even know what to say right now at this point.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, bro.
Oh, he's a cancer survivor as well.
So now he did he die in his sleep or?
Details are still coming out, but from what I've heard, it was Thursday morning.
Wow,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
How old was Kevin Samuels?
56.
Dang it, he was young as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. And the one important thing about it is that the message doesn't die. He was just a messenger. Kevin Samuels' message was not unique. He's basically repackaged what. Oh man. Sorry about that. Somebody calling me. He basically repackaged a message that, I've been following a lot of these guys for years. It started back with Tommy Sotomayor and kind of their message. And once you dig through, the jokes and them talking about Blago and talking about this, talking about that, one of the things their content did, it shines a light on you and lets you know squarely where you are. And that's where the no desire to be average comes in, Sean, because until I really started listening to guys like that, and they basically put a mirror up to me and say, hey, Brandon, this is what you are compared to your counterparts, compared to the women in your age range, the men in your age range, the men slightly above you, the men slightly below you. This is where you are. And when they showed me, I didn't like where I was. So I decided to change it. Like you say, no desire to be average. I was below average for a minute. Now I say I don't want to live that life anymore.
Wow. We're gonna get back. I wanna touch on Kevin Samuels, man, because you had said some things that I was like, it was just kind of disturbing, but about what people was saying about him and stuff like that, and
it's
pretty much
crazy
spitting on the man grave, pretty much. What people just are disrespectful like that, man. But the haters gonna hate. But this subject, no desire to be average. I'm gonna tell you where it came from. It stemmed from a conversation that I had with my son on yesterday. My son called me up, and we were missing each other yesterday, but we finally talked to each other. He said, I was, hey son, how you doing at school? Da, da, da. We were talking about, football next year, all these different things. And I was like, man, I said, what's up, man? What's going on with you? And he just went in. He went in, which I was so overwhelmed and shocked what he was saying that, I really just pretty much stopped the car, parked, and I just listened to what he had to say. So he was like, Dad, I've been doing some reflecting. And so words I wasn't even using at 16. So he was saying, I've been doing some reflecting. And he said, Dad, I want to be a better version of myself. And I said, where you coming? Where you going with this? He said,
damn.
He said,
16.
Dad, he said, Dad, please, if you could, just listen to me so I want to get everything out. I said, okay, so all right. He said, I want to be a better version of myself. I've just been thinking about myself. I want to be somebody someday. And he said, Dad, when I see you this summer, I want to work out pretty much every day. I said, well, I said at least 5 days a week. We can do 5, Jordan. We do 5. He said, Dad, I don't want to be average. This is a 16-year-old boy coming to me telling me he don't want to be average. The average 16 years old don't even know what they want to be. Right. So it got my attention when he said he did not want to be average. It automatically, I was, I like to joke a lot, and I was messing with him. I automatically went into a serious father mode that I need to listen up to what this kid is telling me. He said, Dad, I have watched how hard you work. I have watched how much work you have put into your body. Yep. And he said, Dad, I do not want to be average. I don't want to look average. I don't want to be average. I don't want to be around average people. I do not want to be average. I don't want my mind to be average. I was just blown. When I tell you, I was emotionally overwhelmed with what I was hearing from this dude is 16 years old, man.
Yeah.
You don't even hear adults talking about not wanting to be average. So because they have become so complacent in being basic and average. This dude is 16 years old. So I'm Brandon, when I say I didn't even know what to say, because I was so shocked in a good way. I'm just shocked. I'm like, this dude's I'm like, what in the world? He said, and then we started talking. And he said, Dad, I want you, before I come to spend the summer with you, I want you to send a video of me of as much as you can send every day. He said, because Dad, I want to perfect what you have perfected. I want to put, he said, Dad, he said, when did you start? When did you, and then we went into my story. I said, well, Jordan, you know, I said, I made a podcast on, well, God, I don't know if
you started yours in 2021
podcast or something, but I was talking about, I said, I made a post. I said, I made a post that the mind is the foundation of building a great physique. So basically your mind is the foundation. That's where the start comes from. And I said, everybody has their own path and their own reasons for their own personal why. I said, mine started at 11. I said, I didn't have a father, so I carried a lot of pain. I was sad a lot and I was angry. So I had pain, anger, and sadness. And I said, I had to escape what was in my head and what I was feeling. And I had to harness that and channel that in a different area. I say for me at 11 years old, what 11 years old is thinking about all that stuff. I said, but that's how I was feeling. All my friends had their fathers. I didn't have my father. All my friends had their father's last name. They had their father's name. I'm like, all these things I was going through and these unanswered questions that I had as a kid, nothing made sense. But I you know, even at 11 years old, nothing made sense, but I didn't have the concept of what it all meant at 11 years old. I said, so all I had was push-ups and sit-ups in the bathroom every day, and I would do them until the point of exhaustion. I would take a shower and I would just go to bed. I would do them till I couldn't lift my arms anymore. Yeah. And I did that from 11 to my senior year in high school. This is a true story. Anybody can call my brother Lynn and he would tell you verbatim. If my mom was still here, she would tell you verbatim. My auntie Deborah was still here. She would tell you. My cousin John, Toy, they would tell you. That dude has always been doing those push-ups and sit-ups since he was a kid. He didn't just start at, he got 30, 35, 40, and all of a sudden he just got a spark up in his butt. But in my mind at 11, I did not want to be average. Yeah. And then the first time I found out that so Sylvester Stallone was one of my biggest, I was a huge fan of Sylvester Stallone. I was a huge fan because I remember him in the first Rocky, in the second Rocky, and the third Rocky, and I was like, this dude just keep looking different. Because in the first Rocky and in the second, from the first Rocky to the third Rocky, it was like, that's two different people. Yeah. I was amazed by how his body transformed. So at a young age, I was intrigued with the human anatomy, internally and externally, of how things work. How can a person's musculatory system change from looking like nothing and then it just changed and it looks like a body of a Greek god? How does a person get from point A to point E? How do they change like that? So I'm automatically intrigued, love science, because science to me breaks down how everything works. And so I was intrigued by how things work, how the body works. I wasn't intrigued by nothing else. Love sports, but I was so engulfed in the body. Like I would look at people's body, and I still do, and they probably think I'm checking them out. Nope, I'm looking at what's wrong, what you can fix, what you got right that I admire. But still, you see what I'm saying? It's like I'm intrigued by human anatomy. So I fell in love with human anatomy as a kid, and I didn't know what it was coming from. But as I got older and things started changing, and my body started changing, I said, you know what? I want to do my career. I want to be somewhere in I want to be doing something with the anatomy as a career. I already knew that, but I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So as my son is talking, I told him, I said, Jordan, my path came from pain, hurt, and sadness and anger from not having a father. So I needed to have something to channel it to. So from 11 years old to 52, we were talking about consistency. I said, think about, I think people never think about how long that duration is. From 11 years old to 52 years old, and you're still doing it. That's a long freaking time.
Yeah.
That's a long freaking time. I don't know what conversation you can have or with a person who's been doing it that long. If a person been doing something that long, they don't want to hear your excuses. They don't want to hear your procrastination. They feel no sorry for your pain, what you're going through to get your body to change, because guess what? They've been doing it that long. So the pain that you feel, they've been through it. The times that you've thrown up, they've thrown up 1,000,000 times. The times where you could barely lift your arms, they had time that they could barely walk out the gym. There are times I had to lay down on the floor a whole hour because I could not move my legs. But here's the thing. I wanted it that badly. Yeah. I wanted to not look average. And I told my son, I said, I hear exactly, but the passion and the realness in his voice, I was just like, he said, Dad, I want to be average in no area of my life. I was like, I couldn't believe what this kid was telling me, B. When I tell you this is where this is stemmed from about not being average, but the beauty of a thing is when they realize something at an early age opposed to a later age when things are kind of almost too late, when you almost got one foot in the grave, now you want to do something. I said, man, he said, Dad, I want to do exactly what you did and not to look average. None of my friends' dad body even comes close to yours. Nothing. Yeah. No. He said, there's nobody I know that looks like my dad that I personally know. Yeah, I see people on TV, movies and stuff like that. But there is nobody in my life that looks like my dad. There is nobody that looks like you. I want to pattern that, and I want you to give me everything that you know. When I tell you it took everything in me, I was welling up. I was about to break down.
Yeah.
He said, Dad, that's what I've always seen. He said, Dad, I knew it was in me. Eventually it came. Now the desire. He told me, Dad, I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
So my thing about it is that I went from joking to being serious to it piercing my heart in a good way to keep the tears from crying. I mean, for some reason, man, I needed that yesterday. I was so blown. I was so in awe, B, that this kid is saying, this kid from his mind is saying, I don't want to be average. And he was so serious. And he was so passionate about what he's saying. You can hear the passion in his voice about what he's saying. I said, this dude is dead. This dude is 100% serious. He said, Dad, I ain't playing. I'm dead serious. There is no other person who has as much knowledge as you have and can tell you what you could do from the beginning to get to where you are now. He said, Dad, the average 52-year-old ain't walking around looking like that.
No.
That takes discipline. Yeah. That takes consistency to have that longevity.
Yeah. Former athletes look like you.
And what people say, oh, you lose this, you lose that. Well, explain, this dude ain't got a steroid in his body. He ain't got no trend in his body. He ain't got no test in his body. He ain't got no Deca. He ain't got no Winstraw in his body. He has nothing. That dude is just eating and training. One thing I told him, I said, Jordan, I never knew who my father was. Whoever he was, the genetics had to come from someplace.
Yeah.
I don't know where the genetics came from, but the genetics had to come someplace. So he said, Dad, I want to capitalize off what my father has done. And I want to do it. I want to get my body. I said, you know what, Jordan? With that mindset, your body will surpass mine if you keep that mindset.
Yep.
And I know it may sound crazy to you right now, but if you keep that mindset and you keep it consistent,
yes,
you will pass me in everything I've done, anything I've accomplished, from owning a business, school, everything. You will blow me away. But here's the thing. It ain't impossible for you not to do it.
Yeah.
But the desire that you got now, that you want me to pour in all the years of knowledge, all the education, all the experience in you, so you do not have average. I said, Jordan, here's the thing. There are people that see me every day. My brother said it. My best friend has said it. They don't even appreciate what's in front of them. They don't appreciate the wealth of knowledge. They don't appreciate what you give to them. They don't understand. They don't even think. This dude been doing this since he was 11 years old. 11. And now my son is 16 and he wants to get into it. Now, see, he's working out seriously before I even worked out. I started working out really serious about 19, 20. But I was always exercising, which started at 11. I played with the weights, but the seriousness, he is dead serious at 16. So he got, like I said, Jordan, you serious at 16. I didn't really get serious about 19 or 20. I exercised. I played around with working out, but I didn't really get serious until about 19, really 19. That's when I really was like, you know what? I'm going to be dialed into this gym thing. And I never looked back, but exercise was always a part of my life. So B, what you think about that, man?
Oh man, Jordan has had the the ultimate playbook. He's seen the path. He's seen where he wants to go. He's seen what he wants to do by watching you. That's why I say boys need to watch their father's work. And also, no matter how strong the man is, we all need that attaboy from time to time. That's what your son gave you. He gave you that attaboy. That's why you got so emotional, because, and you say you needed that, because we all need that. You working hard. Yeah, you got the results from your body, your business, and you have all these successes. But when somebody comes along and say, hey, I see what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. It's a good look on you. And then going on about their business. Dude, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
Phenomenal, bro.
Hey, I was in Publix the other day. Dude who I had met previously, he works in the deli. I told him about my channel, and he followed me. And when he saw me again, he was so excited to see me. He dapped me up. Hey, man, what's up, man? Hey, man, I watched your tribute to Dwayne Haskins when he passed, man. That was so cool. Man, yo, you should talk about this, and this, too. I was like, yeah, man, what's up, cool? And we shook hands, and dude, that felt good. You know? No, that lets me know, hey, somebody out there watching my content, somebody out there appreciate it. So you need that attaboy. Right. But like you said, with getting into the bodies, I got into that years ago, because even with football, my favorite part of coaching football, Sean, was not coaching in the games in the season. The season is just a result of what work we put in the off season. My favorite was the off season, because I get to watch you build yourself up to the point where you're going to be successful on the field. So I've always liked that part of it. And you brought up for Sylvester Stallone. For me, it was Vin Diesel. If you ever look at Vin Diesel when he's not acting or he's not in a role where he has the bulk up, he looks like almost an average guy. He's not very bulky. It's not much muscle on his body. But when he did the Chronicles of Riddick, I'm talking about that body transformed, man. Looked like slabs of stone was stuck to his chest and back, you know? And so seeing that, I was like, dude, so you could do that? You could put it on, put it off, and change the body in all type of ways. I said, man. I say now, who knows what stars and stuff and things they may use, but I've seen it before. I've seen athletes do it. I've seen guys like you do it, Sean, where they'll bulk up and then they'll shrink down, bulk up
Right.
and then shrink down. You know,
Right.
so but the need for him to not want to be average, this is rare, Sean.
Mind
This
blowing.
is it's rare. It's rare because it's guys, it's athletes, the kids with immense amounts of talent, and they're kind of just like, you know, it is what it is. They're not trying to cultivate it, and they're 16, of course. You know, everybody's not going to have that mindset, but it goes to show you where he is and how he's watched you for so long. You know, he's as soon as he can remember, he started watching you. And as he's watched you, he's seen your steps. He's seen the things you gain. He's seen your body and what it's looked like. He's seen all these things. And he's like, man, I want some of that. That's what I want. I have to do that. And what he's also seeing, he's seeing the people around him as well. I guarantee you, he's watching his friends. He's watching other athletes.
Right.
He's even watching the attention that they get from girls, the guys the certain guys. He's watching all of those things. He say, man, I see the dudes who are above average get more attention too. You know, and girls may not be his defining motivating factor, but it is a factor.
Right.
You know, it is a factor. Like I told you about Magic Johnson. Anytime Magic Johnson came to the party, everybody like, oh damn, here go Magic, dog. Now we ain't gonna get no chicks today because here come Magic Johnson. He's somewhere like in the cafeteria, and here come the big man on campus, and nobody gets no more attention. He's like, oh, I don't want to be average no more. I want to be above average like that dude right there.
Right. Right.
That dude. So he's being influenced by many factors, but because he has you, he's like, oh, I know how to get to where I want to get. He's right in front of me. You know,
it blew my mind, man, and it what he said is what I want grown-ups that I train to say. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we become adults and we feel as if once we get a certain age, ain't no need for all that. There's no, you know, I'm this age now. Ain't no sense in working out. It's just, you know, let me just keep working and die. I mean, that's the mindset of people, man. They don't want to do what's hard. And I told Jordan on yesterday, I said, son, what you want is probably going to be one of the hardest things you've ever done, because the only days off is you're going to have is 2 days or 3 days for recovery. The work is endless. It never ceases. It never stops. But to get your body to a place to where you can sustain it, you're going to have to put the days, the minutes, the seconds, the years, the months in. You're going to have to put that in. And regardless, I said, Jordan, let me tell you something. Regardless of how you feel, you're going to have to put that work in. Regardless of what you're going through, you're going to have to put that work in. Regardless of that divorce, you're going to have to put your work in. Regardless if she leaves you, you go through a breakup, a devastating breakup, you're going to have to put the work in. Regardless of your depression, you're going to have to put the work in. Regardless of who dies, you're going to have to put the work in. Regardless of the job you lose, you're going to have to put the work in. There is no excuse for you not to put the work in. I said, the more I went through, the more I dived in the gym. The worse I felt, the more I dived in the gym. There have been times I was crying, tears rolling down my face. I got the towel on me, just like this, head down, crying, wipe them tears. Next second, I said, man, there was nothing that was going to stop. He said, so Dad, what was it? I said, Jordan, I had no motivation force pushing me. I said, it was something. I said, when I saw Sylvester Stallone body change from Rocky to Rocky 3, I said, I want that. I said, because I saw when he looked average, there wasn't a muscle. There was nothing. He just was frumpy. He was just fluffy. He was just not there. There was no detail. There was no line in Rocky 1 and Rocky 2. I said, but when that brother came back in Rocky 3, I was like, who is this dude? What did this guy do? I want that, and I ain't gonna stop till I get it. And then when I found out how old he was in Rocky 3, I said, oh no, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So now I knew that age ain't nothing but a number if you take care of yourself. That's the first thing I thought in my mind as a teenager. I said, hey, age ain't nothing but a number when you take care of yourself. Age is more than a number when you're not taking care of yourself. So I got that in my head. And so what I did, I kept motivating and inspiring myself through that dude. And so I just kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going. And then I saw the dudes that was getting the attention who wasn't doing no work. They just was genetically gifted in high school. I saw all the dudes that was popular in high school because nobody wasn't paying Sean attention.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, my grandmother used to say this and my mom used to say this. She said, baby, let me tell you something about time and things. Things don't always remain the same. And that stayed in me. She said, through a course of time, you're going to see things, you're going to see how things are now, and then you're going to see how things change and evolve. See who was popular or who was the getting all the notice and all this stuff. Things change. People change. You know, and I remember coming back, visiting in my mid-20s and my late 20s and moving back and coming back. Body started changing. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, no, just because the brother drinking milk now, don't come hollering at me now because you weren't giving me no play. You weren't paying me no attention. You weren't saying nothing to me. I was a dud. I was a square. You know, you weren't saying nothing to me. So bodies changing. And then, you know, I would have talks with my auntie Deborah and my mom. She said, they would say, case in point, things don't always remain the same. You know, now they want to act like they know you. No. Don't wait till a brother start doing stuff and start to, you know, don't know me now. If you didn't know me then, you don't know me now. We cool, but we ain't that cool because you treated me a certain way. You did look at me a certain way. You did treat me a certain way. And now that a brother changed, now you want to call me arrogant now. I'm arrogant because I take care of myself. I'm arrogant because I have confidence. No, I'm like arrogant because you look like how you look and I look like how I'm look. Your insecurity is speaking loud and my confidence is silent. I'm not saying anything because I'm not walking with my head held high and my body looks a certain way. Now I'm the arrogant dude. And you be trying to wait to see if I'm going to fall off. And each year it gets better. Each year's gotten better. Each year's got better. I'm not falling off because my mindset it don't think on average. I don't have an average channel on this television up here. There's not everything is above average and excellent. I'm never going to reach perfection. The closest I can get to perfection is excellence. But that channel is never going to be average because all your channels in your head is average. How you love people is average. How you treat people is average. How you in that marriage is average. How you work out on your body is average. That's all you know. See, the thing that drove me is what I didn't have. That father I didn't have. Them holy tennis shoes I had. Them same jeans I had to wear like 3-4 times a week. See, there were things that I went through living in a trailer up under the AC because it was so hot because a trailer is like a tin can. See, all the things that the brother went through. Some nights I went to bed hungry. See, I had things that drive me now that I cannot go back to that. And it still drives me now. That chip stays on my shoulder. Because I don't forget. I'm not going to talk and harp on it and throw it up in your face. But I remember. I remember who was who and who treated who like who. And now that everybody looking like blowfishes, and we cool, but we ain't that cool. Now you want to act different from me. I'm like, well, you can act different. I mean, you not hurt my feelings. You can't hurt me. You can't hurt me. And I told you, and I said, listen, don't ever forget where you came from. Don't treat nobody bad because he said, I told you, I said, Jordan, once your body start changing, things gonna change in your life. I'm telling you, I said, Jordan, you're gonna get there. You know how I know you're gonna get there? You got my blood running through your veins. So you got an edge. So you got my genetics in you. All we got to do, son, is put in the work. And all we got to do is keep watering that plant and it's going to grow. I said, Jordan, you got my genetic makeup. I was once like you, slim and skinny. I said, but when I'm going to pour in you, I said, I'm going to pour so much into you because I want your body to pass mine. I want to get your body so right that people are going to be running into, their head's going to be on swivel. And it's not for the attention. It's because what I want to pour into you. I said, but when I pour in this seed, when I give you all this information, stay and keep it consistent. And when he came to me, how I know he going to appreciate it, because that's my son. And he's watched. And he's watched, and he's watching, he's watching, he's watched, and you watch. But the stuff that he was saying about not being average, he said, Dad, I want to be something. I don't want to look like nobody's looking. When he said he didn't want to look like everybody else, I felt that, because the same thing he was feeling, I was feeling at that age. I'm like, and then people that was around me, I was like, I don't want to look like these people. I don't want to be in my 30s and 40s looking like these people. I don't want to be average. When I walk in a room, I want to stick out, and nobody else in the room comes close. That was my thing. And it wasn't to garner attention. I was like, girls, I ain't got nothing to do with it. My mission was for Sean Patrick Taylor. No, girls was never my motivation. I wanted this for me. Because in my mind, I'm like, they'll leave me they can leave tomorrow. But guess what? This body stays here. And I'm not, and this body stays here. If they leave, all of a sudden these muscles gonna stay right here. Don't mean because they leave me, my body gonna change. You know what I'm saying? I didn't put in too much work. And when they leave, I just work harder. When I go through something, I just get in the gym hard. Because I said, Jordan, I'm gonna get your body to a point to people can't believe that your age, your body is defined your age. That's always been my go-to. I've reached that goal. I've reached my goal that I set as a kid when it comes to my body. That was the biggest goal, and it was the hardest goal. And I said, Jordan, let me tell you something. What you're going to need, son, is a whole lot of patience. I said, because there was times in my 20s I wanted to give up because it wasn't coming fast enough. And then I got with people and trainers, and they were saying, Sean, listen, the number one thing you need in building your body into a great physique, the number one thing you're going to need a whole lot of patience. Because your body as a man doesn't start maturing until you get into your 30s. So you need a whole lot of patience. And then the older you get, as long as you stay in that gym, Sean, it's going to get better if you stay consistent. I know everybody's saying, you say, Sean, doctors say so much stuff. Doctors want you looking like a crackhead and a meth head and be talking about, okay, you're healthy. What? Dude, I look like tissue paper. You can see straight through me. I mean, what? I look like a skeleton with skin. Wait, how's that healthy? He said, what doctors say, and a person with an exercise physiology, exercise science, kinesiology degree, is totally different. There's fit and there's skinny. There's fit and there's fat. Muscle don't lie. Muscle weighs more than fat. So, you know what? Is your blood pressure high? Is you on all these medications? You good. But that's what they think. Let them think that way. You know what I'm saying? Because their body looks the way it looks. Yours looks the way it looks. But as long as your body fat percentage is where it needs to be, you take care of your body, you're not putting that extra stuff in your body to damage your internal organs and all these different type of things, just keep going. But to hear a child say, I do not want to be average, I said, man, I got to do this podcast. I'm being average. Being average is a state of mind. want to be above average is a state of mind. Being basic and mediocre is a state of mind. That's you choose to be basic. You choose to be mediocre. Why? Because you feel as if it's too much work. What you got, B?
Let me get some of these comments. Say people were hating on Kevin Samuels, and all he did was give you the hardcore truth. But facts, it's amazing how mad people get with truth. It doesn't matter how many mirrors you buy; that's still your reflection looking back at you. Rest in peace. That is true, Ness. Yeah, it's the message doesn't change. The message doesn't die with the messenger. I say, I'm always amazed when I see my son playing drums. It's amazing the feeling that you can put a price on. You can't put a price on. It's inspiring for any father to have a son that wants to, an even greater example of what he sees. Now, the reality is, as fathers, to continue direct our sons towards greatness, especially in their youth. The path to greatness is broad and full of distractions in multiple forms and getting worse. Yeah, that's where parents have to work overtime today to guide their children. And one of the examples of you telling Jordan saying, hey, you can surpass me. Just look at Jaden Smith, for example.
Right.
Jaden Smith picked up everything Will did and did it at a higher level at a very early age.
Right.
And it was just natural for him. He took to rapping, he took to acting, he was charismatic. I mean, he had it all in spades, more than his father did, earlier than his father did. And it was so easy for him that I'm pretty sure he was just like, oh, I mean, it is what it is. So he didn't have the drive that Will had because of where Will came from. I mean, Jaden is from Calabasas. So, he's like, it is what it is. But he was even better than his dad. He said, Nesse, I don't dive deep into the he, she's average because to survive struggles of life and not quit or commit suicide, turn to drugs and alcohol, in my opinion, puts anybody above average. I see people every day in all aspects of life fighting multiple things, some without limbs, some without normal cognitive skills, still giving their best effort daily. That's above average to me. Yeah. The people who are healthy and they got nothing wrong with it and they act like they can't succeed, those are the people that get on my nerves, man. You got people out here achieving and they're doing it with limited capabilities. It's a children do what's modeled, not what parents tell them. Yeah, they do what's modeled in front of them. Oh, and you was talking about, Sean, how once you got your muscle and you start to get a little status or whatever, right? That's when people want to come around. And I was gonna say, that's like the R. Kelly. He say, "Honey, love goes platinum and y'all ass come around." Hey, but that is right there.
But that's
Tupac, same thing.
But you know what, B? Me and my mom had a lot of conversations because, of course, mom was there from the beginning. She saw her son transform his body from nothing to something. She saw the whole entire process. And one thing my mom said, she said, you know what? She said, son, I watched you do something that was fun. That just, it's phenomenal. She's like, you're in your 40s now. I mean, I'm so impressed by what you've done with your body. And she said, always try to stay humble and, and always try to stay meek when it comes to that. Never shun people off because they look different from you or their bodies are not looking like that. And that's something I've always prided myself in doing. And she said, as it really started changing to where you can actually see the differences, and and once by my late 20s, and she was just at one point my mom, I said, son, how big you want to get? I said, Mom, I want to look like a cartoon character. I want to look like a superhero. You know what I'm saying? I want to look I want to have superhero muscles. So when people get into certain dialogue about certain things, that's your reality. That's not mine. You didn't go through what I go through, so you can look however you want to look. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's your journey. That's your path. So my why started, again, it started from a kid filled with pain, filled with hurt, filled with sadness, filled with anger. So it was the driving force that I wanted to do something for myself, by myself, and keep getting the education. So I trained with some of the best trainers. And all of them was older, and all of them looked phenomenal. I didn't want to train with nobody who did not look the part. I wanted to train with someone older who blew my body out the water so I can get what they had. And that, to me, I'm not impressed by somebody young with a nice body. That's not impressive. I'm impressed with that dude that's 40, 50, 60. That body is just like, just slamming. And I'm 20 and I'm not even close. To me, that impressed me. That really impressed me. But she always told me, she's like, you're going to get people that's going to just try to be in your presence just based off of what you look like, and what you've done with your body and things of that nature. And that's so, it was so true, man. And it was, you know, but beef, after a while, it just got old. You know, that it got old. It just got old. I mean, you don't care about what's up here. All you care, you just want to talk. You just care about this. I mean, what about what's up here? There's some amazing stuff up here, but you don't want to even tap into it because you want to have basic conversation on basic things. So when I told my son, I said, man, too much is given and as much is going to be required. I said, but I'm going to give it to you all. But what I want you to do, I want you to pay it forward and pour it into other people. Pour it into people who's going to appreciate it. Pour it into people who wants it. Pour into people who's going to really value it. You know, because you're going to get people in your life, they just want stuff from you, but they don't really value what you're pouring into it. They're going to try to take advantage of you and try to take you for granted. I said, but when you are not an average thinker, you're going to see that a mile away. But what I want you to do is, the more mentally in tune you are with yourself, the better you can perfect your body. So and I told him, I said, Jordan, the number one rule I'm going to always preach to you is changing your body is 99% mental, 1% physical. Your mind is the foundation to building a good physique. Why some people quit, why some people can't lose the weight, why some people are in and out, why some people start and quit, because their mind is not in the right place. They got other things on their mind than losing the weight. They got other things in mind instead of getting off the insulin and blood pressure medication and the Simonsat and all these different things. I said, I want you to be mentally in tune always. And I said, I'm going to pour that into you, because when your mind is right, there are no limitations.
Yeah. See, let's say, to be able to wake up in the right frame of mind daily is above average. She said, my mother always reminded me when I was younger to let the things that God has said about me and how I live define me, because she said, she said, what a person does when they can no longer do what they love will define who they really are as an individual. Oh yeah.
Who said that?
This is this is Nesco. I think this is Nesco's all of these.
Oh, I don't know. That's on one today, ain't he?
Yeah, he said it's so surface when people want to be with you based on physical appearance, but don't appreciate all the things you have to offer. He said, Sean, bro, you a bad man, and people will try to get close to you because they think you have a secret, and the secret is not a secret. It's consistency. To my preach, bro, I got to get my mind right.
See what I love about Ness is that he gets that, and Ness is so right. There's no hidden secret, man. I said it all starts from what's in between your shoulders. I preach that so much, and people still don't get it because they so fixated on other things. If they can sit still and listen and comprehend and understand, they can be like, you know, Sean is right. There's no secret. I just got to get my mind right. Once I get my mind right, I can be disciplined, consistent. I can keep going. I can quit. I can stop quitting. I can quit starting stuff and quitting. Everything changes. But when a person changes their mind, when you truly change your mind, it changes your attitude. And when you change your attitude, it changes your life. All three key components come full circle, but everything is with the mind first. And people think that it's some secret formula, potion, Brandon. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, it's just your mindset, man. That's all. That's all you got to change. And when you change your mind, everything in your life changes. But you got to stay consistent in training your mind daily for it to keep evolving in a positive way, to constantly keep changing. You know, a lot of people don't get a real positive mindset. And that person in them, they constantly butt heads because that person's mind's not right.
Yeah.
You know, and they always gonna try to pick a positive person apart. It's like, dude, I've been like this pretty much all my life with my mental. You just don't understand it, and that's our disconnect.
Yeah. So that's Lisa Reed and Ness, not just Nesco.
Yeah, it's coming up Facebook. Why is it coming up Facebook users sometimes?
Because they doing it in the FIMP group.
Oh,
So
okay,
yeah,
okay.
so they on that stream that's going to FIMP. They're commenting on that stream.
Right.
So for whatever reason, it does that.
Right.
But because number one, FIMP is not it's not open to the public. It's a closed
Right,
group.
because it's a private group.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a private group. So but I mean, I echo everything you said, man. That's my fight now. I was just after finding out about Kevin Samuels last night and thinking about what he achieved in these last 2 years,
Right.
and all those right then and there, man, I felt inadequate. I felt like I felt disappointed in myself because I said, I know I've come a long way. I know I'm doing much more than I was doing before. It's not even close. You compare me now to the me 3 years ago, and I will whoop my whole ass. I mean, that's just what it is. Better in many facets. But I also know that I can do better and I can do more. And I need to put in more work. I have to. I have no choice. I've shortchanged myself because now I know that I can put in more work and I have to do it more consistently because I get it and it'll go and go, and then I'll do a little drop off, then I'll go back to it. But no, I need to continue to go build it up. And I was like, man, I got to get it. There's no excuses, nothing else. And as you can see, you can be called at any time. Anytime it could be over. I say, what up, Dante?
What's up, Dante? What's going on, man?
At any time you can be gone. And what have you left? What's the mark that Brandon Lampley has left on the planet? What does your family think? What do the people closest to you think? What do those people who have followed you, people who know you, what impact have you left on them? And so I was like, man, in all facets, no matter what it is, across the board, I just got to be better. I want to be better. I have to be better.
Man, I'm still shocked that Kevin Samuels passed, man. I'm like, that's crazy, man. And our world is so negative that people would say those type of negative things about that brother, man. And they, that just goes to show, man, people misunderstand each other they misunderstand people every millisecond.
Yeah.
And this dude, he was just trying to get you to think from a different angle on things. Mm-hmm. That's all he was saying. And, there were some things that Kevin said. I was like, man, I mean, I don't know if I could say them, but the brother, it's almost like his transparency was transparency. Here's the thing about transparency. What bothers me about the world, everybody wants the truth, but then they can't handle it. They can't handle transparency. Transparency is such a beautiful thing, but then again, people can't deal with it. They can't handle it. The dude was the epitome of transparency. Yeah. He didn't sugarcoat anything, but a lot of things that brother said, it need to be said, and a lot of things that brother said was true.
Yes.
A lot of things that he said, I'm not one to pretty much, I don't think Kevin Samuel, degraded women or whatever the case may be. I just think some of the things he came off, some people said that people took a little bit harshly, but there's a lot of things that's going on in our society today that it doesn't want to be acknowledged because it's too close to truth. And it's okay on one end, but it's not okay on the other end, it's just, you know, there's the fairness. Where is it? But the bottom line is, man, truth. The truth makes you grow. It challenges you.
Yes, it does.
The truth challenges you to grow. And if you are that perfect or that right, and you're not willing to grow, the truth is always a challenge to hear, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have gotten our feelings about truth, you know, but
Yeah.
to spit on somebody's grave, pretty much, or piss on someone's grave after they're gone, man. You don't know when your clock is gonna be punched. You don't.
You don't.
And that's why it's important, man, to live each day in the moment, but to appreciate life, man. You know, I mean, I appreciate that brother, man. I mean, when I heard him, I mean, he made me laugh. He made me think. He made me question things, man. He made me just like, you know, just he just made me think from a different perspective. We all can have different perspectives. It doesn't make us right. It doesn't make us wrong. But if we be open-minded enough, we can learn from different people's perspective. But and it's okay to misunderstand people. But when you misunderstand them, try to understand.
Yeah.
Through your misunderstanding, so you can get some clarity on what direction that person is coming from. You know, because I can say something to you, Brandon, and you be like, you know, why'd you say it that well? Or you can say something to me, and I'd be like, let that just be enough to let that person explain where they're coming from, because you're hearing it, but you're receiving it differently because that person is coming from a different angle. I mean, you guys could be on the same page, but you know, they delivery may be a little bit off. But if they say, hey, listen, I'm not coming at you in a malicious way. Let me explain.
Yeah.
Let the person explain where they're coming from. You can learn something or get something from it, like, oh man, because we all think differently. We all have different perspectives. Sometimes our perspectives, they gel, and sometimes they don't. It doesn't make the person right or wrong. As long as we're not disrespecting each other, we should be good to at least try to understand each other better.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
it's just my take.
Say just don't quit, Brandon. Not quitting bills consistently. It would be a disgrace to have a friend and brother as awesome as Sean and not get it right. So Brandon, I'm not going to let you quit. You don't let me quit, because Sean Patrick Taylor won't quit. Sean, we coming, bro. Gotta go, fellas. Love y'all to life.
Love you back,
Appreciate that,
man.
Ness.
Appreciate you, Ness, for them gems today, bro. All right, B man, we're gonna have to wrap it up, homie. I gotta
Yes,
make this
sir.
video for my son. What's your final thoughts, man? Have you got any final thoughts?
Final thoughts, I would say, I mean, this is all in your control, people. I mean, nobody's going to come and hand it to you. You just have to get up, go out, and do the work. I mean, nothing is going to be handed to you, because as you can see, it's a free-for-all now. Everybody's going to be out for self. This is where the selfishness for yourself needs to come into play. You know, you have those people who are giving, and they give to this person, pouring to this cup, pouring to that cup. But we're going into times where, yeah, if you can help other people out, but if your ship is not right, you need to get yours right first before you go help anybody else to try to repair theirs, or both of you are going to sink. So take that time, be selfish, get it right, then you can help other people, man. You know, I watch people stretch themselves. Golly, man, stop calling me. I watch people stretch themselves too thin, you know, and not solidify their ground before they help somebody else try to build theirs, man. So do you first.
Yeah, B, bro, that's a good closeout right there, man. That's a that's a heck of a final thought, man. It's a final thought, man. And if my final thought, man, how about, yeah, it's okay to work on other things in your life, and it's okay to get money and things of that nature, and it's okay to want to have nice things and to want to have this and to want to have that, but let me tell you something, man. This is this is for I'm piggybacking off my son, and this was something I remember from the movie Pursuit of Happiness. And for every young person that may tune in, or you may be a teenager, you may be in your 20s. Don't ever let somebody tell you that you can't do something. Nobody. If you have a dream, you got to protect it. When people can't do something themselves, they're going to tell you that you can't do it. If you want something, go get it, period. That statement, a little pieces of that is from the movie Pursuit of Happiness. And if you have not seen the movie Pursuit of Happiness, I strongly suggest that you go see it, because you will see the struggles and the pitfalls and the hurts and the tears that brother played, which I thought Will Smith should have won an Oscar for that, because he was amazing. And Jaden at the time was incredible. And I think that was his first movie. He was like just a natural, you know. So
yeah.
The Pursuit of Happiness is about a man struggling, dealing with man stuff. His wife left him. I mean, the dude was just at rock bottom. You know, they're living in and out of they was sleeping in bathroom stalls. And what that man came out of and what he created. And just think about the inspiration his son saw, because my son saw me at my lowest.
Yeah.
And it was I get choked up, man. I get choked up when I talk about it, because Jordan had to be, I want to say he had to be 7 or 8, man. We was in Texas, man. And Christmas time, man, we talking about a week or 2 away from Christmas. I lost my job, bro. Man, I came home, bro. And I ain't gonna cry up in here. Y'all ain't getting that. So I'm gonna wipe this water out my eyes and keep going. But I came home. I had lost my job a week and a half before Christmas. And I had to sit there and look at my woman in her face, and look at my son in his face. And I had nothing to give him at that time. And boy, when I tell you that thing hurt me, it pierced my heart. But you know what it did? It woke that lion up. I mean, it woke that sleeping lion up. And I looked my son in his face. I looked him in his face and I said, you will never experience this again on my watch. My woman, his mom at the time, my woman at the time, she didn't kick me when I was down. I grabbed her, and I was I'm sitting in the chair. She was standing from, and I just grabbed her, and she just kept saying, "Baby, it's gonna be all right." She didn't look at me different. She didn't make me feel bad. And I was so broken and I was so hurt as a man. So when I saw Pursuit of Happiness, man, it just reminded me of that time period. And that thing had me, I was so welled up when I watched it, but it's also inspired me. And then I was calling my brother, man. He was like, man, what you doing? I told him the story. He said, man, come on up here, man. Come on up, man. Man, get in the car and come on up here for Christmas, man. Man,
yeah.
Him and my sister-in-law, Sarita. So it was a rough time in my life, man. Him and my sister-in-law, Sarita, man, they took care of my son, man. He ain't go without. And you know, and from that, that's when I ended up getting a job at Lifetime Fitness, man, and things just turned around, man. I made more money there than I'm pretty much made anywhere. They really paid people off their education and their experience. They paid you based off what you brought to the table. And it was just a rough time, man. It was hard. It was tough for me to look my son in the face. And he just, Jordan has always been a good kid, man. He's never made me feel bad. And he said, Dad, it's okay. You, Daddy, it's okay, Dad. I mean, I just couldn't. He was wiping my tears, man. I was just so broken. And when you a real man and you can't do things, man, and people don't understand this, B. They don't understand a real man hurts when he can't do something because it's just in him. Now, a sorry man, he just don't give a damn. He don't care. That's his MO. But a real man, he will beat himself up. But you know what? Things changed around, man, and I got that job probably, I think, about a week later, and and just things just changed. And my son never had to experience that again. I kept my promise. He never had to experience me not being able to do something for him. And so it stayed in me. It's still that chip on my shoulder, like I can never go back there. I can never get that low again. Like I refuse to get that low again. So, man, if you got a dream out there, you got to protect it. And let the naysayers say whatever they want to say. Let the doubters say whatever they want to say. If they leave you and they support you when you going through something, man, they ain't the person for you, man. God got something way better for you. Because when God puts something in your life, let me tell you something, man. When God puts something in your life, whether it's a man, it's a woman, it's anything, when he put it there, it refuses to move quickly. And it just ain't just going to leave you when you at your lowest.
Yeah.
That's my not health tip. That's my final thought of the day. I'm sorry, man, but when I tell that story about when I lost my job, my son was like 7 or 8, man, it was just a hard time. It takes me right back.
Tough time.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what you got, B? You got something?
Oh yeah, I'm good, man. I'm about to matter of fact, I'm gonna probably go live right after we get off on this, because I'm going ahead and rip the so-called community of ours to shreds over their comments, and just to warn men, pay attention to those who are tap dancing on Kevin's grave. Pay close attention to them. Right.
Exactly. I'm gonna tune into that, man. I gotta check that out. But man, I gotta go through. I gotta do the video. Then I got a quick therapy session. But listen, man. Like I said at the end of all the segments, I'll start judging people once I'm perfect too. But since this brother is in no danger of becoming perfect, you'll never have to worry about me ever judging you. Listen, we got a great summertime slim down special going on. 50% off. Call me, email me, text me, whatever you got to do. You want to take advantage of that. And to all the mothers out there, I want to wish y'all a happy Mother's Day. Y'all got a job that is tough. Mothers hold down the house. They make sure everything goes copacetically. Mothers is one of the most beautiful things on the planet. And you got some phenomenal mothers, man, who just live by a certain standard that they refuse to belittle themselves to be like the normal mothers of society that treats the other person as if they're less than. To those mothers, you are the epitome of what a real mother exudes. So to everybody, man, wish y'all happy Mother's Day, man. Listen, y'all stay up. We'll catch you next time. And we out, B.
We out.
Peace.
Peace.